What up? It's your boy Anon, back with another video. Today, we're gonna do another quick reaction. Last week I did something like that. It was audio only. It was a reaction to what was it? The Game Spitter breaking down Young Boy turning down 25 million. I agree with him. Young Boy deserves more than 25 million. You know what I'm saying? Because he does the numbers. If Dirk got 40, why is Young Boy only getting 25? If Young Boy has more plaques and has sold more records than Dirk, you know what I'm saying? Like, make it make sense. If they was going lowball him, at least give him 45. Don't give him 25. You know what I'm saying? But today, I for the past couple of days, or I actually posted on what's it called? Twitter. I posted on Twitter yesterday, I was pretty much saying in summary that record labels use death or imprisonment as a marketing ploy. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much that labels or either put an artist in a situation, or they'll turn a blind eye to certain things in an artist's life because they don't really care about that artist. They care about the money that artist generates. So if an artist do something that get them locked up, guess what? It's going to put a buzz around that artist, and now we could drop some songs, and it's going to shoot up. Or the artist may die, get shot, get killed, OD, whatever, and we know that they still involved in this. We ain't going to talk them out of it, because if they die, they're more valuable. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a whole lot of posthumous albums and stuff like that start coming out, and they taking verses and they putting them together and doing this and that. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes into just the leeching that happens a lot in the industry. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever want to be a victim of that, because we're so blind. They give us the money, we're like, okay, blah blah blah, but you're not realizing, yeah, we buying into you, and we know what you into, so we hoping that you gonna die, and we gonna get all this money off of you on the back end. You know what I'm saying? But I found this video before I could even make a video about that, by Degenerocity, where it says death doesn't equal good music. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of falls into my point of, they'll just throw things together with your voice on it, put it out as an album, and because you died or because you went jail, boom, it's going to do, you know, it's going to do numbers, because people want to hear from you. They want to quote unquote know what you was working on before you died. Sometimes artists really do be working on stuff before they die, but sometimes they'll just find a beat, take the artist's voice, put it on the beat, take a couple rappers, put them on the beat. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy. And it's kind of sad that even some rappers really do be working with the artist when they do that song, but sometimes some rappers will just send a verse to a label and be like, yeah, just throw that on there so I could get whatever. You know what I'm saying? But death doesn't equal good music. Let's listen to what they say, if I agree with it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Artists. They are some of the most popular talents around, with their music spreading its influence, sometimes even going music artists. They are some of the most popular talents around, with their music spreading its influence, sometimes even going worldwide in their respective genre. Trying to understand what I was trying to say. I'm bad at these kind of intros. What I'm trying to say is musicians are pretty popular. And if you're popular, you're most likely loved and respected by a large group of people. And if you're really popular, you're at the very least respected in not only your own music genre, but in this whole scale of music across every genre. Which then makes these artists superstars, even some influencing the next generation of superstars. So when one of these artists are met with their unexpected death, every one of their fans and the music community in general mourn their deaths. And during this mourning period, we all start to look back at the artist's music and see how much love and maybe even influence this artist brought to their fans and genre. This is the part where the word legend starts to get thrown around. To each their own, music is subjective, but I think that being called a legend is getting a little too common nowadays, having the word start to lose its meaning. I'm very bad at writing these kind of intros.
So as far as the legend thing goes, there are certain artists that have passed away that would be considered legend status because they've achieved some certain things. Because being influential or having a small impact or having an impact or whatever, some artists' biggest impact is them dying. You know what I'm saying? And some artists created that impact before their death, and it just, you know what I'm saying? Mac Miller, I would say, would be considered a legend because of the longevity he had. He been rapping since what, 09? He put out some great projects. He put on a lot of people. He was in, what was it? Was he the first independent artist to go? He's accomplished some things. He put out great music. You know what I'm saying? I would say Mac Miller, because he put in that time and he achieved some things, will be considered a legend. They have some artists who, before they even blew up, before they really reached their peak, they were called legends. You know what I'm saying? I can't call you a legend if you never reached your peak yet. I can say, oh, you had potential. But if you never reached your peak, like, for example, Jay-Z, okay? You know what I'm saying? Knock on wood or whatever like that. Jay-Z, say Jay-Z drops 96 and then he dies in 98. Jay-Z never really reached that peak. Blueprint never came out yet. Would Jay-Z have been considered a legend at that time? I'm pretty sure he would, because that's just how hip-hop is. You know what I'm saying? Biggie, because Biggie's peak was his first album and his second album. He had 2 classic albums to start. So Biggie can be considered a legend. It did all these numbers. Biggie, he influenced a whole lot of people off those 2 albums. Biggie can be considered a legend. But if it's an artist who had a slow start, or they had a little start but they didn't reach their peak until later on in their career, if they would have died before that peak, would they have been considered a legend? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if Jay-Z died in 98, would Jay-Z be considered a legend? Reasonable Doubt is a classic album, but it wasn't taken seriously until later on in his career. Until Jay-Z did, you know, Hard Knock Life and all the other stuff, then he started really getting taken seriously as an artist. What's another artist? Let me see. I don't even know. Lil Wayne. If Lil Wayne, God forbid, passed away before Carter 2, would he be considered a legend? You know what I'm saying? Where it's kind of like, before the artists put out their best music, or their peak music, would they be considered a legend? You know what I'm saying? There's some people who passed away who never got to get to that peak, yet they all called legends, because not because of what they've done, but because, oh, they had a buzz around them and then they passed away. They a legend now. Nipsey Hussle, I could say whatever, I don't care what Whack 100 talking about. Nipsey Hussle can be considered a legend because he put out a good amount of music, and his music impacted people. He did things even outside of music, as far as marketing, as far as financially, as far as just, he inspired people, he motivated people, he did things that changed people's lives. That can make him a legend. You know what I'm saying? There are some artists who never got to that point in their career, yet they all called legends. You know what I'm saying? Just because they passed away. You know what I'm saying? It isn't about, oh, he just died, he a legend now. No, you have to have done legendary things. And I feel like Mac Miller did legendary things before he died. Nipsey Hussle did legendary things before he died. You know what I'm saying? So that word is thrown around a lot, you know? Even people that are alive who ain't really done much, but because you like their music, you say, oh, they a legend. Compared to what? What impact has the music made outside of your life? What impact has the music made to the music industry or to the world? You know what I'm saying?
Read the title. You know what I'm about to be talking about today. Dying doesn't equal good music. But before I go off on this topic, no, I will not be talking about an artist's death or the way they died or them as a person. That has nothing to do with their music. May all the artists that have passed down.
Like I said yesterday, when's the last time we talked about music?
And I hope the best for their families. I'm not going to be disrespecting them whatsoever. I will be disrespecting their music though. And also, music is subjective. You got that? We all on the same page? Alright then. Juice WRLD music suck. I'm just kidding. I will be talking about him later though. What is a legend? Well, the definition of it is an extremely famous person, especially in a particular field. Well, by that definition, anybody can be a legend.
That's not true. That can't be the definition. That is a dumb definition.
I'm just kidding. I will be talking about him later though. What is a legend? Well, the definition of it is an extremely
famous or notorious person, especially in a particular field. I don't agree with that definition. I feel like you have to have done more than just be famous to be a legend, because by that definition, all celebrities are legends, right? By that definition, any famous actor, any famous musician, any famous barber, any famous anything is a legend. And that's not what a legend is. No.
Famous person, especially in a particular field. Well, by that definition, anybody can be a legend. But I feel when people use the word, they use it when saying the artist is up there with some of the all-time greats. Like, using the word legend is like using the word GOAT. Another word that
What's
gets
that?
thrown around like loose change. And terms like those are brought up the most when an artist dies or when YoungBoy drops, because you know that artist impacted many people's lives in a positive way, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely understandable for people to feel that way for an artist that they loved.
Right.
But I start to raise my eyebrows a bit when peeps start to say, yeah, they're up there with the S tiers. They're some of the best to ever do it. And I'm all like,
Oh, ho, brother, whoa, now. You got too much dip on your chip.
I know most of these.
And the crazy thing is, the people that we consider GOATs, a lot of people like to come up with a lot of excuses as to why they're not GOATs. But people who are not GOATs, they come up with all the excuses to why they are GOATs. You know what I'm saying? So the people that we hold as the greatest rappers of all time, Jay-Z, Eminem, Ice Cube, Tupac, Biggie, who's another one? I'm trying to think. Rakim, like people like that, they'll be like, oh no, they're not the greatest of all time because this is and that one. Oh, they're not the greatest of all time because of this reason and that reason. Oh, they're not the greatest of all time because this reason, that reason. But then they say this person is the GOAT, even though they have not accomplished the exact same things that you said this person isn't a GOAT for. Or they haven't done anything that this person that people call a GOAT has done. You know what I'm saying? Like people will be like, oh, blah, blah, blah is a GOAT. But Tupac ain't a GOAT because Tupac ain't really a lyricist. But the person you just said was a GOAT isn't a lyricist either. You know what I'm saying? So people just pick and choose who the GOATs is. The certified, you can't even talk about them GOATs. People want to debate them all the time. But whoever your opinion of a GOAT is, ain't touching those people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's weird.
Guys are pretty decent artists. Hell, I would even say some of them are pretty gosh darn good. But would I bring them up with the actual GOATs? No, I wouldn't. I do not think some of these artists are good enough to be ranked as highly as they are. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing but respect for these artists. May they rest in peace. But a good chunk of them make only okay music. Like, for example, King Von, may he rest in peace, but I'm not the biggest fan of his music. I do think he has his bangers, but I do think the majority of his music is aight, nothing to go crazy over. No disrespect though, I definitely think he's a cool artist and would have wanted to see more from him. But I would not say he a legend. That new song fire though. And while hearing me say all these things, you probably think...
As far as King Von go, King Von is a legend in a certain demographic. So I would say a hip-hop legend, King Von didn't get to that point. He was moving up. He was on that trajectory, just like I was talking about earlier. He was on that trajectory to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like he was literally on his way up when he died. So I wouldn't say he is a legend, but he could have been a legend. Now, if we're talking Chicago drill legends, King Von would be a Chicago drill legend, without a doubt. King Von changed. He brought storytelling into Chicago drill, something that wasn't too much of a thing. You know what I'm saying? And King Von could actually like rap for real. You know what I'm saying? So if he would have kept going, you know what I'm saying? King Von could have been as big as Dirk or bigger than Dirk if King Von kept going. And then if he would have got to that point, it'd have been over with. You know what I'm saying? But because he died as early as he died, I can't say he's a hip hop legend. A Chicago drill legend or a drill legend or a street legend, King Von most definitely. But when it comes down to hip hop, King Von did not get to that point yet to be a hip hop legend. You know what I'm saying?
Again, bruh. Why can't you let niggas enjoy things? If people want to call their favorite artists GOATs and legends, then why not let them have that opinion? Well, to quote my favorite gay Twitch streamer,
you know, I realize there's just a lot of hating ass niggas in this world, and I'm one of them.
I can't let these niggas think their favorite artist is one of the best. May their souls rest in peace and their lives were cut off too short. But I can't pretend that these guys' music are on the same level as Pac or Biggie's. But what am I trying to say with this dying doesn't equal good music argument? What's the point I'm trying to make? The point is, I think people be too quick to call someone a GOAT of their genre when they pass, not taking into account that 90% of this person's music is mid or okay at best. It's like any artist, good or terrible, could be called a legend when they die. Like take Smoke Perp. That nigga sucks. But best believe peeps are gonna be calling him a GOAT if he were to die tomorrow. They gonna be saying, another legend gone too soon. Man, Smoke Perp was up there with the greats, man. He was also one of the best freestylers in the game, period. Remember that time?
And then this thing is that a lot of the internet is filled with trolls and just, I don't know, just stupid people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they know somebody isn't really the GOAT. They may like, because the thing is, you can like someone's music, but you cannot put them on a pedestal that they are not on in real life. You know what I'm saying? There's artists that I listen to that I like, but I'm not going to say, oh, he's the greatest rapper of all time. Like, no, I just like him. Like, it's okay to like somebody and them not be held to that standard. If you wish they could be held to that standard because you like them, that's fine. But to say, oh, they up there with Tupac and Biggie, they up there with Jay-Z, when they're not even coming close as far as popularity, as far as skill, as far as accomplishments, then you can't put them in the same conversation. You know what I'm saying? And like Tupac, and people gonna say, oh, Tupac and Biggie are only legends, are only GOATs because they died. No, that's not true. Tupac and Biggie influenced an entire generation after them. There was a whole lot of rappers rapping like Biggie, quoting Biggie, sampling Biggie. A lot of rappers acting like Tupac, referencing Tupac, influenced by Tupac. Even to this day, people still say, I'm thug life like Tupac. I'm blah, blah, blah like Tupac. I'm the new Tupac. You know what I'm saying? There's people still in 2022 saying that they are the new Tupac. But he's been dead for 25 years. How are you not a legend if people still want to be you and you ain't even been around? Some people wasn't even alive when Tupac was alive and still want to be the new Tupac, or want to be better than Tupac or bigger than Tupac. Same with Michael Jackson. There's people who are little kids who ain't really get to see Michael Jackson like that, but people still say, I want to be like Michael Jackson. I want to be like Prince. I want to be bigger than Prince. I want to be bigger than Michael Jackson. I'm the new Michael Jackson. She bad like Michael Jackson. This is my Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? If your name is still brought up in songs, in records, in style, in delivery, even when you're long gone, you're a legend. I want to know what rappers that have passed recently, you know what I'm saying, or artists that have passed recently who are going to be referenced or going to be